What is up, everybody? It's the Commissioner, Jimmy, Mailman Milstead, and with me today, the deputy from lovely British Columbia, up there in Maple Ridge, BC, my deputy,
You
Kevin
got it
Stork.
right.
This is the episode of number 5 of the Storks Desk. And we're here to talk all things NHL as it's the 16th week of the season. A lot going on. Four Nations face-off is upon us. That'll be interesting because there's a lot of teams out there with great momentum, including my Washington Capitals. Maple Leafs playing pretty good. What's that going to do with momentum? Kind of an extended type all-star break. And teams are humming right now. There's other teams not humming. We're going to talk all things league fantasy hockey. We're in week 16 of the non-divisional week. Had a big divisional week 15 we just completed. And Storky, it's your show. Your club, the Langley Scorpions, are on fire, sir. Climbing up the ladder. How you feeling about last week's victory over the champions? DB Cooper, that's who I'm playing this week.
Well, I mean,
By the way,
of course, my buddy,
January the 22nd.
yeah, of course,
Sorry.
my buddy, the Nightmare, got me motivated to win last week, so that's good. It's good to see him pop in every so often. As scary as he is and as mean as he is, but yeah, it was a big win for me last week. I really wanted that one. It was a statement game for my organization, and we're on a streak right now. We've won 4 in a row and looking to beat Washington this week.
Yeah, we have a set of non-divisional games this week. We'll have one more set of non-divisionals in, I believe, week 18. But we had the Commissioner's Corner on Sunday, but that wasn't on here on YouTube. Let's review last week's scores, shall we? Your matchup was the 12-6 over the defending champs, and you now are tied all time with Mark Raymond 4-4. And I get them this week. I am winless against the champs, and we're in a chess match right now. But a big win for Langley. Huma, they're the division leaders. Julio, 15-5, impressive win over our buddy the Colonel, Nick Reedy, who is in desperate mode right now. He needs wins if he's going to make the playoffs. 15-5, Huma, big win last week. The Woody Woodpeckers continue to be the best team in the league. They are now 12-3. Stork 16-4 win over the Killer Bunnies. Not sure what happened in that matchup, as stated on the Commissioner's Corner. That one was all Dan Hull. I thought he was going to win that one. We can dive into that one later if you want. But Mark Wood's club is starting to roll, or continues to roll. Is he going to ever lose again? Things are going right for him, but he turned on the Nas in that match. That game was totally up for grabs, and Mark told me himself he was worried about it. It must have been a huge Sunday for him. The Pipe Players, DuPont Pipe Players, Tim Kelly, not totally out of the woods yet for the worst team in the league, but he's been playing pretty good. He beat Probert Etiquette 13-6. He has lacked success against Dave. Dave kind of mailing it in, but still a threat. But a big win for Tim Kelly. The Cherry Bombs edge out Waylon Womack. What is going on with the Washington Wendigo? They dropped to 5-9-1, Storky. They're in the downward spiral and going in the wrong direction. He's got a big matchup this week versus you. And like you said, Cherry Bombs without Connor McDavid. We'll talk about that off the top here after I go over a big win for myself, buddy. 13-7 over Scott Lanham's Nova Fire Brigade. I move into second place in that hard competitive Ovechkin division. But I'm still a little bit behind Mark. Mark's kind of got a lot of breathing room there, OV division. But Huma, Langley, and DB Cooper, that's the class of the Gretzky division, buddy. Thoughts on last week's overall Week 15 divisional matches, buddy?
Well, like I said before, I mean, we're down to, well, including this week, we got 6 games left. So, of course, last week's games really start to mold the standings a little bit. We've got the 6th place team, DB Cooper, And they've got, at least 4 teams underneath them trying to chase them down. At the same time, they're trying to move up the standings. But with the Killer Bunnies, the Blossoms, or Cherry Bombs, I should say, the Norsemen, and of course, Washington is still in, despite the fact that they're 2.5 games behind sixth place. The Norsemen and the Cherry Bombs are 2 games out right now, or 4 points, whatever way you want to look at it. And the Killer Bunnies, I mean, they're sitting in seventh place right now, 1 game behind DB Cooper. But the problem with them is they just, like I've said before, they're very inconsistent. They get on a 2 game roll and then they end up losing 2 in a row. They just haven't been able to play consistent. Otherwise, they'd be in the top 6 right now. But like I said, with all these divisional matchups coming up at the end here, it's going to be quite a race because when you only have 6 games left, including this week, losses are critical. I mean, they really are, especially for the bottom teams looking to move up. Probert and DuPont, they got a lot of work to do, and the lights are starting to fade out on them for this season, unless they get red hot. And the problem with that is they got too many teams to climb over. So we're really looking at quite a race to head down the stretch.
Yes, sir. And thoughts on Don Cherry here is for his rankings. I wish I had a producer like I always said, but really controversial takes here from Donnie. Is he actually has been predicting pretty good lately. He was 4-2 in his predictions last week, but your boy from the White North still has Woody Woodpeckers as the #1 squad. Huma leading the division in the Gretzky land. First time adding Americans. I mean, they finished 3rd last year, but I don't recall Don Cherry ever putting out postseason rankings. I have to look that up. But Jimmy's been in the top 4 or the top 3 now. Nova took a step back, and that's where the controversy was. Langley might deserve that 4th spot. Langley still holding strong with that big win last week, but Don says he's the 5th ranked. Unbelievable. DB, I think DB Cooper is way better than 6th, and he's playing really good hockey this week. And I like the Killer Bunny squad. It's just the lack of consistency. He likes him a lot too. He stays put at 7. Frozen Norsemen, they're just lucky. They have better records, I think, is what Don was telling me. He still likes his preseason champs. He's not throwing in the towel, but he's really disappointed in the Colonel Nick Reedy's team. But the Cherry Bombs, they're moving up, even without Connor McDavid for 3 games. Basically, this week, Alex has got to play down a man there, her best player, and her team captain. We can dive into that in a minute. Cherry Bombs, though, move up a little bit. Washington down a notch. And then technically, DuPont still has a worse record than Dave. Don has Dave Snellgrove, Probert Etiquette, as the worst team in the league. And in this league, you got to help ship the trophy. And it might be coming up north, maybe. Storky. So Dave right now has that honor. But your thoughts on the snub from old Donnie Boy here? Like you said, drinking a little bit of scotch maybe, but is he out to get you, Stork?
Oh, well, he doesn't like Langley. I don't know what his problem is. He has no respect for my hockey team, and I'm going to force it down his throat because, after I continue my win streak and move it to 5 games, maybe he'll start looking at my team before he drinks the whiskey. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, other than that, the rankings are pretty good, except for maybe the bottom 2. I mean, you really still have to put Probert in 11th spot. But, other than that, I mean, hey, the The Woodpeckers are number one. They have been for a while. They got a bit of a cushion, so they may hold on to that. But like we say, we got teams that are you're a win streak or a losing streak from moving up or down the standings. So 2 weeks from now, we might be looking at something totally different.
Yeah, we're in the dog days of the NHL season. There's a break coming up, and a lot can happen. Our trade deadline, Stork, officially, as I will check the background here, it is going to be. It's not too far off, but like we said, we're in the dog days. But big trade deadline coming up on Wednesday, February the 26th. The NHL trade deadline will be a week later on Friday, March. But here is our official promo date for this year's trade deadline. We've had a plethora of trades going down, a lot between Probert Etiquette. He's been collecting 2025 draft capital. Mark Wood, the number one team in the league, he's been very active. What are you thinking of his trades? He recently reacquired Linus Allmark, who's been hurt. There's a lot going on in Mark's organization, but he acquired Nazem Kadri recently. He's looking pretty good. I don't know if you want to go over his roster a little bit, but as the Mark Wood has been very active, and I don't know if he's done yet. Your thoughts on the Woody Woodpeckers?
Well, I mean, I was shocked last year when he gave up a whole bunch of draft picks, and look where he is right now. So I mean, it's been a great story for Mark. He's played really well this year. He's done it again this year. I think he's probably made even more trades this year than he did last year. So like we said before, it takes away your depth. But this year, I think he's gotten lucky and he's pulled the right buttons to put him where he is. But to do that 2 years in a row, sooner or later, it's going to bite him. But I mean, hats off to him. He's in first in the
Making
league.
moves.
Yeah, he's made
Yeah,
some
he's
good
making
moves.
moves.
And for the
Yeah,
teams like Probert and DuPont, I mean, Probert, I think Dave is doing the right thing there. He's collecting picks for next year, and he's going to have an interesting draft coming up to build his team back up to the top six.
yes, sir. And like we said on non-divisional week 16, more of these to go in a couple of weeks to close out the non-divisional. But as you take a look at the competition, the Gretzky has the two Stork Cups here in the 2 years of the league's existence. So the bragging rights, when it all said and done, is DB Cooper's.
It's going to be three. It's going to be three.
Yeah. But as far as head-to-head competition, non-playoffs, it's been the Ovi, man, 51-42 all time. This year it's 16-8 with 3 ties all time, but no ties this year. But the Ovi head-to-head with the Gretzky, 16-8, Ovi's advantage. We got some intriguing matchups this week. As we said, DB Cooper, the champions, all-time myself and Americans. Real tight score here as we hit day 3 as we're recording this on Wednesday, January 22nd. Only 4 games tonight. Probert, they're taking on the Nova Fire Brigade. The aforementioned Probert trying to play spoiler. I want to say they have a lead right now with Scott. Scott's been kind of on the downwards trend, like we said. Took a couple of bumps in the road here these past few weeks. Don Cherry heavily favors him, but we'll see if Scotty can get it back. He made some controversial moves on Sunday to try to go for the win and fell off short. DuPont playing spoiler against the Cherry Bombs. Cherry Bombs still trying to make that playoff push, like we said. She's without Connor McDavid, but she has owned this series with only one meeting last year. So that'll be an interesting matchup on this side of the board. Wendigo taking on you, Stork. All time, you've had Waylon's number. Waylon is trying to find himself. The matchup of the week for Don Cherry is the Killer Bunnies and Huma. Killer Bunnies has been Huma's kryptonite. Only one meeting, but I think this matchup will be very, very close coming down when Sunday hits. And then last checked, I thought Nick had a lead on. I'll have to take a look here. He does lead Mark all time. I believe 2-1. Is that what the graphic says? I can't even read my own writing. It's backwards as I'm looking at my computer. But yeah, so that should be an intriguing matchup. If Nick can get a huge win here, that would give him a lot of confidence. He did trade Mark Scheifele last week. I don't think we covered that to the Nova Fire Brigade. So Nick's kind of in that in-between zone, retooling on the fly, trying to get some assets for 2025. Maybe being a seller, or is he trying to make a final put? He's kind of in that mushy middle. Not sure. I loved his draft. He kind of fell by the wayside once he traded Jack Hughes early in the season to Huma. Both teams kind of went in opposite directions once that happened. But your thoughts on any of these matchups this week, Stork? We're just in the middle of it, and things are getting heated and just going here.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could start off with your game against DB Cooper. You're going into Wednesday trailing 11-9. So, I mean, and being, there's still a lot of games left for this week, but it looks like it's going to be another close one. It's a big game for you, of course, because you have somebody. What were you going to say?
And Mark got off on the right foot because my bread and butter is that goaltending, and Connor Hellebuyck took a bad loss against Utah the other night. I don't know if you saw that, but
yeah,
I believe the final was 5-2 or something. But yeah, whenever I play Mark, it seems like my guy Hellebuyck both years, and he always doesn't show up against DB Cooper. It's like he kind of shits the bed, I guess. I don't know. We got to bring it in nets. We got to win last night with LT in net versus the Oilers, but. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, like I say, I mean, it's 11-9 right now for DB Cooper, but I mean, of course, as big a game as it is for you, it is for DB Cooper, who's sitting in sixth place, as we mentioned before, and he's got a lot of teams foaming at the mouth trying to get in that top six, and they're just underneath him. So, I mean, if he loses to you this week, he's going to go to 500. And, like we said before, the Killer Bunnies, the Cherry Bombs, and Norsemen, and even Washington, if they can win this week, they can climb up a little bit. And every time when you're in the top six and you lose a game, that gets teams underneath them excited especially when you're sitting in sixth place. So they'll all be watching your game for sure.
Yeah, your matchup, buddy, you're taking on Washington, and you have an 11-5 win or lead. You're hoping for a win. But it looks like you guys are both pretty even in goals right now. I know Waylon has had a hot streak with David Pastrnak, year one's MVP. Waylon has had trouble in nets, and now Freddie Anderson is back going on here. So his guy has been Freddie got fingered down there in Carolina. Seems to be back. Hurt Waylon in his net because he has Kachekov, but I know I've talked to him on it before. But it looks like he's only allowed 2 goals this week. So his GAA looks pretty good. So that'll be an interesting match for you. Looks like you have had a phenomenal week so far in the nets as well. Who got you the win? You're 1-0, and you only allowed 1 goal.
Swayman, right? Swayman got a win.
Oh, Jeremy Swayman. Okay.
Monday, yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's still, like I said, there's a lot of games left this week. So I mean, the scores, as we know, they can move real quick. I mean, take a look at the Cherry Bombs. with an 18-1 lead over DuPont. I mean, it really isn't that bad,
Yeah.
because after today and tomorrow, it could be a whole different story.
And we might as well talk about it right now. Talking about the cherry bombs. I guess we were burying McDavid, 3-game suspension. He cross-checked Connor Garland as they were fighting for space on the ice. Canucks, Oilers. I want to say they play again coming up here, Stork. I believe Tyler Myers also got a suspension.
3 games.
Connor McDavid, really not happy with the amount of games. The Oilers put out a statement. I don't have it in front of me. I can't read it for word, but they were very apropos. I don't know if that's the right word either. As I try to find my English language here. Connor McDavid, to sum it all up, not happy with the NHL ruling. He's very distraught. I don't know your thoughts on it, buddy. Did you think it warranted a 3-game suspension?
I was
That's
kind of
basically a week's worth
surprised
of hockey.
I was surprised it was a 3-game suspension, although when you look at the highlights, I mean, he gave him a pretty stiff cross check in the face, and you can't do that. It's not cool to do that. You can really injure a player. So he deserves a suspension for it. I don't care how whiny he gets about it. I figured he was going to get 1, maybe 2 games. The 3 games I'm kind of surprised in, but I mean, the NHL has had a problem with that kind of hit from players, and I guess they want to, make a statement that we're not going to tolerate it. So, McDavid's going to have to suck it up and not be so liberal with his stick next time, because he gave him a good whack. And the guy didn't really do anything. He was just frustrated, like you said. But you can't, bad injuries can happen from cross checks like that in the face.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Connor Garland is a pest. From what I hear, he's one of the top 5 chirpers. He gets under guys' skins. I remember Willie Tom Wilson last week was getting an earful from him, and he ended up pounding him. Wilson's was lucky he didn't get an interference call, but Caps will play the Canucks this Saturday. But like I said, I believe the Oilers and Canucks go at it tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see without those two guys. Or no, Connor Garland didn't get to.
No.
He was the guy involved, but Tyler Myers was the guy. He had some retaliation, so he also got a suspension. So it'll be interesting to see those two teams go at it again. But looking at the Cherry Bombs, they're not missing Connor McDavid too much. They're getting a lot of goals and a lot of points. So she is playing pretty good this week without Connor McDavid. So it's really good to hear what you thought there, Storky. I thought that was probably the top story so far in the NHL. The Caps last night played the Oilers. Oilers all signed them up. The Caps escaped 3-2. So we kind of got cheated without an Ovechkin McDavid matchup. But hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Yeah, I mean, this is a big game for the Cherry Bombs this week, sitting at 6-9. I mean, she almost probably counted herself out there for a while, but she's starting to win some games, and if she can get 1 or 2 more victories in the next couple of weeks, she could be right back in the race. Only 2 games behind, but as we said before, when you're down to only 6 games, including this week, there's not a whole lot of games to make up. So it's easy to make up wins, but it's all very difficult to make up losses.
And my matchup here, Nick is actually losing to Mark. Last night I saw him and he was beaten. Mark still got a goal edge over Nick, 6-5. Nick's got a lot of assists though, so he's got 13-9 in points over Nick. So Nick, keep battling, buddy. The power play looks pretty good for him. Each team has 1 GWG. Also for Nick, the big thing for him is he does not have a goalie start yet. So it's Wednesday. Nick's gonna need to get that goalie inserted, and I think that will have to do with the matchup because Mark, the number 1 team, is 0-2 already in the Nets. Storky,
Yeah.
He's already given up 5 goals, so he's Nick's gonna have to get it going as far as catching up in shots and saves. But the save percentage is not good for the Woodpeckers. Market for the taking, Nick. Let's get some goalie starts. I believe you probably do have Gus, I believe, coming up. I'm not sure what the schedule was tonight. There's only 4 games tonight on Wednesday, but Nick, get those goalies in. So there's the week for this week, buddy. Let's talk about the league leaders, shall we? As I try to exit full screen here, I wanted to go over the NHL league leaders. Buddy, Huma owns him, his captain and keeper. Leading the league in points, 74 is the race to the Art Ross is getting pretty good. Leon Draisaitl scored a goal last night. Can't remember if he had an assist, but he has 71 points. He's right there in the Nikita Kucherov, your guy. Leon Draisaitl, by the way, on Mark Wood's team. Nikita Kucherov, Tampa Bay not playing too great. They dropped one of your Leafs on Monday. That was a great watch. But Nikita has 70 points, buddy. I think he has shot to be the Art Ross winner. Mitchie Marner, your boy, even though he's on Nick's team this year, 67 points. And then to round out the top 5, the suspended Connor McDavid, he has 65 points. Who do you think's going to win that race, buddy?
It's going to be, all those names have a chance of making it, that's for sure. We know what McDavid can do when he's playing. He scores goals and points in bunches. So, when he's in range, and he wants to win that again. Kucherov, as much as I don't like him, he's on my team, but he's got a bad attitude, and but he's a great hockey player. I mean, let's face it. It's no accident that he got the points that he's got right now, and he's done in the past. But bad attitude, and of course, Draisaitl is Draisaitl. It doesn't matter whether McDavid's playing or not. Draisaitl's going to get his points. But it's going to be an interesting race. We still have lots of time left, though, with all like 34 games left or something like that. On the average, 33 games maybe. So there's still a lot of hockey, but it's been an interesting race so far.
So, just to sum that part up, do you think McDavid has overtaken, or not McDavid, McKinnon has overtaken McDavid as the best player in the world, or do you think that's just a bunch of malarkey?
When you look at them both, come on. Who would not want one of them on their team?
Yeah.
Come on. McKinnon has proven time and time again that he's one of the top 5 players in the NHL, and so is McDavid. But when somebody tells me that McDavid's better than McKinnon or McKinnon's better than McDavid, you just how do you weigh that? They're both 2 different players. They both do different things really well, and they both have some deficiencies, like any hockey player. So it's I don't listen to who's better than who.
Yeah. The funny thing is too, you can even argue Leon Draisaitl might be even the MVP on in the league and on the Oilers itself. I thought he played a really good game last night and lost to the Cap. But
he did that without McDavid. So
yeah. So speaking of Leon Draisaitl, he leads the league in goals with 34. He has like 29 even strength goals. I think I saw. He scored an even strength goal to open up the scoring last night against the Capitals. I want to say they said that was his 29th even strength goal. So that's kind of impressive. I don't know if I
That's
heard
impressive.
That right.
That's impressive when you've only played like 48 games. For him to have that many goals, that's some Gretzky crazy numbers right there.
Yeah. Sammy Reinhart has 28 with the Florida Panthers. That's the game I'm going to watch tonight, buddy. That's the TNT States game, featured match. It's a late game. Florida is in L.A. So Sammy Reinhart, a little bit behind Leon Draisaitl. He needs to get it going, but he can easily hat trick here and there. Your boy William Nylander has 28. He is on fire. He had a great game against the Lightning the other night. Mark Scheifele, the guy that Nova just acquired from Nick. Nick acquired, I think, a first-round pick for that, if I recall. Or maybe it was a second. Scheifele, 27 goals for the Winnipeg Jets. So he's looking pretty sharp this year. And then the one bright spot on Probert has always been Braden Point. And Probert says that's the guy he's not dropping. I mean, this is a guy I had the first 2 years of this league, and I wanted to draft him. Dave beat me to the punch. Braden Point, 27 goals, quiet. Seems like we never hear about Braden Point.
No,
I think
he's consistent, Jimmy.
Yeah,
and he's only 27 years old. I mean, it seems like he's been around forever, but he's only 27 years old.
He's had some tough injuries.
Hell of a hockey player.
And then shifting over to the goalies, let's give the goalies some love as my webpage wants to crap out on me. Connor Hellebuck, the guy I acquired, I gave up a first-round pick. I was able to draft him last year. He leads the league in GAA, NHL.com. You just want to go nuts when I want to use you. I just lost my league leaders. Connor Hellebuck leads the GAA as yes, website. I know you want to use cookie. I hate the NHL website so much, Stork.
Yeah, I don't look at it.
I look for like the league leader stuff, but they're making me really pissed off here as my computer. Totally. I'm in the market for a new computer as well, Stork. So tell Denise my birthday's coming up, and we need to make the shows better. Oh, Connor Hellebuck. Yeah, she's at work right now, so she's got the drums. Connor Hellebuck, 2.02 GAA. I have him, and I also have Logan Thompson, 2.09. Embarrassment of riches. My problem, Stark, is last week, these guys are going head-to-head every night. Choose one. So I'm going to obviously go Connor McDavid because I gave up a first-round pick for this guy. Or Connor McDavid. Connor Hellebuck. There's so many Connors in the league.
Wake up.
But I know. Connor Hellebuck plays great, but Logan Thompson, #1 star of the week last week. He ended up getting outs, and then in his third game, the game I was able to start him, he gave up 1 goal. He only gave up 1 goal last week, buddy. 2.09. But first star of the week, Logan Thompson. Great 1-2 punch for your boy. But sometimes you run into problems because they'll play on the same night, and you got to pick. Hopefully you pick the right one, but that's first world problems of the Americans right now. But Connor Hellebuck, Logan Thompson, a great 1-2 punch. Darcy Kemper, what are your thoughts on this guy? I mean, say what you want about PLD. It was a great trade between the Kings and the Capitals. Both guys have found resurgences. Darcy Kemper, third best GAA, 2.10, buddy. Any thoughts on Darcy Kemper?
Well, I mean, not so much on Washington. He didn't have a very good year when he was in Washington. But they're a different team in Los Angeles. The Kings are defense first, and he's definitely taken advantage of that. And the other thing is I mean, he's the #1 goalie on the Kings. So he's taken advantage of that, and he's running with the ball, and he's playing very well for Los Angeles. He's one of the reasons why the Kings have the record that they have.
Yep. So they got a big match with the Stanley Cup champs tonight, Florida Panthers. As they're about to embark on another road trip. West Coast teams have some massive road trips, but it's only the second game. They lost to the Penguins pretty bad the other night, 5-1 on MLK Day in front of their home fans. But I think it was just good to see them support, or with all the LA wildfires. Have a good night for the first responders and stuff. So give them a shout out. Even their center ice logo is in honor of all those people that were the heroes helping LA, who is still a long way to go to recover from those devastating fires there.
Terrible.
But your boy still on the shelf. He is still fourth in the league, though, in GAA, 2.15. And then Mark Raymond, the champions for our league, DB Cooper. He's been enjoying Jacob Markstrom. Devil's not playing that great, but Markstrom in the top 5, 2.2. I believe he has the start today against the Bruins. That's going to be a great matchup tonight, buddy.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Jacob Markstrom?
Well, I mean, he's a good goaltender too, and he's playing for a different team also. New Jersey, of course, they have been a little inconsistent a couple of times this year. They've, one stretch of games they look like all stars, and then they get into this little bit of a funk, and they don't put it together. I mean, they got all the offense you could possibly want. I mean, take a look at their lineup. They can be a dangerous team. I want to blame Sheldon Keefe for that, and because I'm not a big Sheldon Keefe fan. I don't think he knows how to motivate NHL players. I'm kind of critical of him, and the only concern I have is, I mean, I like the Devils. I like their team. I just don't like their coaching right now. I don't think they're doing the right system for the team that they have in front of them, and I think that's why they go on these streaky wins and losses. But like I said, you look at their team and you think, geez, they're just a piece or two from being a top contender. Good team, but like I said, I think there's something wrong with the system in New Jersey. I think they're playing. I just don't like it. I don't like the system in New Jersey. I mean, I think if they do some changes, that team could really go off.
Yeah, I keep hearing rumors. I mean, JT Miller out in Vancouver for Dougie Hamilton, and I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But I don't know what's going on. Vancouver still keeps dangling that guy. Something's going to happen, I would think.
He's going to go
whenever
somewhere.
I hear smoke, there's always.
He's going to go to an Eastern Conference team. You can guarantee that. I think that's where he wants to go. So, yeah, I think he wants to come back east again. He's not happy in Vancouver, and they got to get him out of there because he's, they
lost last night to the Buffalo Sabres, and Buffalo has not been playing good. I remember seeing JT Miller out there with Elias Pettersson. They came close to tying it up at the end there, but something's not jiving
something's
there.
Not right in Vancouver.
Yeah, I mean, Vancouver is just on the outside of the wild card right now, and they need to get it going. 1 point out. Calgary's in right now. I had Calgary as the worst in the league in the preseason picks, and they've impressed me. So 4 games tonight, Stork. Calgary does not play tonight. Boston is at New Jersey. That's a 4:00 p.m. start. That's on the NHL Network here in the States. Blue Jackets at the Leafs. Blue Jackets been a great story. That's a 4:30 start. These are Pacific time. 7:30 on the East Coast. I keep forgetting we're on YouTube and people are like,
well, I'm used to it because that's what time my game starts too.
Yeah. This is an intriguing matchup. DB Cooper, I think, right now has Elvis Merzlikins starting over Jacob Markstrom. That'll be interesting. I hope he does, because I'll be rooting for the Leafs tonight. But the Blue Jackets been a great story, Stork. Zach Werenski, they're all playing with heavy hearts from the Johnny Gaudreau. That's never going to go away. But they're playing a great brand of hockey. They've had a couple of speed bumps here lately, but they lost to the Islanders and the Rangers, I want to say. But there are going to be no slouches tonight. That's going to be an entertaining hockey.
No team's a slouch when they come into Toronto. They all want
Blue Jacket. Yeah, for sure. So the Jets take on the Avalanche tonight. That's a 6:30 West Coast start, 9:30 on the East. I'm intrigued with that one. I'm not sure if Connor Hellebuck's the starter yet. I'm anticipating. I hope he is. It'll be a tough match. But Jets need to get it going because they've slipped a little bit. And then, like I said, on TNT here in the States is the only major broadcast tonight. Panthers at Kings. I'm intrigued. That's at 7:00 West, 10:00 East. So, yeah, buddy. Anything in the NHL you really want to talk about? We could talk about standings. Like we said, we're in the dog days. There's a lot of storylines going on.
Well,
But
I mean, we
for me,
got
I want to get past the Four Nations.
What I'd like to talk about is our league, of course.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Have a look at next week's games because there's some big games coming up next week, which is week 17. Of course, my match with Huma next week, which could be for the first place in the division. And we all know what first place in the division gives you. It gives you a bye in the first round, so that's all important. So that's going to be a
really
big game. Langley and Huma next week. I want Julio really badly, and I'm going to. By the time week 17 is over, Langley is going to be first in the Gretzky. That's what I'm predicting right now.
Timestamp that, sir.
The nightmare already told me it was going to happen, and he'll be watching over things.
Are we ever going to get the nightmare
You
back
have an interesting match. Adna and the Killer Bunnies next week. So that's going to be a big game for you. Again, you got a lot of critical matches against teams that are sitting around that bubble zone. You got another one next week. The Killer Bunnies are going to be looking to take you down.
And our series is 1-1 this year.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got the Cherry Bombs and Nova. That's going to be I mean, look at this matchup of games next week. They're all important. Yeah. Cherry Bombs and Nova, they're two teams that are, right around that bubble zone, and only one's going to come out with a win or maybe a tie, but points are important. And then, of course, DB Cooper, he doesn't want to lose against you next week this week. He's got a match against DuPont next week. So, DuPont always wants to win. He never gives up. And he'll be out to spoil somebody, and it could be DB Cooper. Because if you beat him this week and he loses next week, DB Cooper below 500. I didn't think we'd ever say that, but Mark, I don't know, man. We also have the Norsemen and Probert. Big game for the Norsemen next week. And of course, Probert isn't going to give it to him. He's going to fight hard to take him down. So the Norsemen have some big games. And then lastly, Washington and the Woodpeckers. Washington has been slipping, as you said. They've been slipping lately. And if they lose this week against me, it's not going to get easier for them next week against the Woodpeckers. So, yeah, a big slate of games next week. It's going to be really exciting. And we'll definitely have to do a show and preview those.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as Whalen with the Washington Wendigo, be interesting to see if he becomes a seller, if he doesn't get the win versus you and falters next week, because he has some prime players that he could put up at the trade deadline and maybe better his draft stock. So,
I'm drooling.
Yeah, I know. He's got some really good players, but we'll see. Like we said, we got to get through this week first.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to look past Mark. I'm concentrating fully on this week, buddy. Yeah. I have never beaten DB Cooper. He's beaten me in the playoffs. He's the one that beat me last year. He went to the finals. He was there for the taking last year in the semis. And Jimmy let him off the hook. So, like we said, it was just not our week, our year. Connor Hellebuck had a bad semifinals there. I'll never forget. He picked up Charlie Lindgren. Charlie and Hellebuck went head-to-head, and Charlie also got a hat trick that week. So, Mark, he's a kind of a mercenary in goalie. He likes to have one goalie, and then he picks up a secondary. And Mark's a heck of a champion and a heck of a fantasy player.
Yep.
And Mark,
I'm scared of him. I always am, but I play him hard.
Well, you've had pretty good. you've had pretty good success. Your win last week has you 4-4 all time. I don't think you've ever played him in the playoffs. But
I don't want to play him in the playoffs.
yeah,
I want him out of the playoffs.
He's a great manager, and my hat's off. But this week, we got a long way to go, and I'm excited to see what's in store. I have the advantage tonight, I think. I noticed he picked up Cole Perfetti, but he's got a goaltender no matter what he goes with. He either has Merzlikins or Markstrom. I think they're both confirmed. I'm still awaiting confirmation on Hellebuck. Who knows if it might have already happened here while we're doing the show. But I like my skaters tonight. I got car going. So, and we got Sasha Barkov in the Kings game. Hopefully they don't take a misstep. I know they played the other night. They're on a West Coast trip. So it will be interesting. Mark so far has the upper hand. Close the show. Any new hockey cards? I've kind of been too broke lately. Anything in the hockey card world you want to talk about? Any new additions?
I've been collecting here and there, as you know. I mean, look behind me. You can't see behind me, but I've always got something going on. I'm waiting for a mail for some cards to finish my Tim set. So, I'm hoping after the show, I'm going to go and check my mailbox again. Hopefully they're in there. Really want to pack it away and put it away. So,
how's
I'm a card short.
Canada Post? How's like I sent you a card. Have you ever gotten it yet?
No, you sent it last week, right?
Probably about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, so I'll probably get it soon.
Next Christmas. Anyways,
we'll be ready for next Christmas.
Yeah, let me so I can kind of judge on anything I send you hockey card wise. I might just do the same thing I did last year, is like just have you pick up some cards at your local hobby shop. Well, that one closed down, didn't it?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought.
No, they moved.
Last time. Oh, they moved. Okay.
They moved actually a little closer to me, so that's good.
Oh, that's good, buddy. Oh, that's really good news.
Well, that's good, but it's not good for my wallet.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's my problem right now. I'm going to the Caps Kraken game tomorrow night. That's going to be expensive. I just haven't had a chance to use any expendable money on hockey cards recently, but very excited. There's some good sets going. I know the Macklin Celebrini Young Guns coming out in Series 2. This year's flagship Upper Deck Series. I was able to get that Connor Bedard last year or over the summer. I only bought one box because those things were going crazy high prices. It's just hockey cards are expensive, man.
You know, speaking of which, Jimmy, you got to get me that list of the young guns you want and what years you want. I mean, you told me you need Matthew Nyes, but I don't know what year it is, because I talked to my buddy a couple of days ago.
That's last year.
Yeah, I told him that I'm still waiting to get a list off you. He said, no problem, just give it to me when you got it, and I'll take care of you. I'll make some trades and get those cards for you. Just tell me who you need and what year you need.
As soon as I get off the air here, I'll try to get that.
Yeah, if you're not doing anything, put the list together for me.
Yeah.
All right, buddy?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, man, I really appreciate it. It's wacky weather all over the country. We got guys skating in Bourbon Street on ice skates. My parents in North Carolina, first time they've had snow in years. I've seen all the pictures. We've had bright, sunshiny yet cold weather out here. I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm gonna.
What did they do? A state of emergency in Florida because they seen snow?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little dusting on the
everything's road. Shut down because there's a dusting in Florida and nobody knows how to drive in Florida in the snow.
I mean, we're upon the apocalypse, buddy. I mean, your boy Don Trump's back in office. They're
going to be calling FEMA anytime now.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, but crazy times. Days of the NHL season. I mean, it's been a fun season like always. Here on this January 22nd, 2025. This was episode 5 of the Storks Desk. We thank you for joining me, Kevin, And thanks for watching, anybody out there in YouTube land. Badger Bob always said it was a great day for hockey. Oh, I mean, it's a great day for hockey. We got 4 games today. It's a great day for hockey. Storky, great talking to you, buddy.
All right,
We'll talk
man.
to you next week. And good luck to everybody's fantasy teams out there. I'm the mailman, Jimmy Milstead, the commissioner of fantasy hockey. Have a great night. See you, Stork.